safe as they go on the assault onto Aurora's position. What an amazing IGLing and macro decision making made by TT Project. And this alone could catapult them back up so much higher in the leaderboards. And I think for that play alone, you know what, a chicken dinner would be heavily deserved. Though a lot of full squads are still remaining, in particular looking at Goat Team, a team that's been an absolute menace during the last chance. And now they are back for round number 2 in the finals. And second place so far. And actually, with Avalanche going out as early as they did, and we are getting to the point where you get placement points, Jackie, Goat Team might just become our new lobby leaders after this Rondo match.
Would you imagine the Goat Team back on top once again? Be a hell of a feat for them. Our club open clashes that look damn good back in Eastern Europe, able to slay their way through the competition, barely missed out on punching that top 4 ticket into the finals directly. Showed us savagery and ruthless PUBG Mobile throughout the LCQ. And now beginning to build more onto that legacy, a team in its infancy, but they look very experienced when it comes to playing with each other, especially in a LAN environment. Happy to contend with some of the best in the region. Top is still alive, though. For Aurora, everyone went down, but he's still fighting on his last legs there, Max. But thankfully, the zone will reach Misha first, so it removes him. Another player to find. It's Retro. Just got the heal off, but couldn't adjust the crosshair in time. Trapped in position, so Retro unwinds Aurora, and the last man falls, bringing us down to only a few squads remaining on this one. One of them being the Goat Team squadron that we highlighted, that is now taking the fight straight to DG77. A quiet DG77 here on Rondo.
Yeah, don't have quite the manpower to pull off a big game, and that's going to be a good nade from Ayato. And really good, we talked about Ayato many times, not only in this event, but also in the previous PMNCs and PMCOs, that this guy, his utility is through the roof. He is such an especially strong player with those grenades. The arcs he chucks are just a thing of absolute beauty. And here it will be ending the run of the entirety of DG77. Oh, the circle shifts once more. Circle 6, compound of TT Project is still in play, but they're still committing to this 3-1 split strat, though. The blue zone is going to be engulfing. Effect. That is going to be one player very hard to get back up on his 2 feet. Actually, I'm going to say impossible to get back up on his 2 feet. As Goat Team looking to set up shop up on the mountainside. They know this is going to be now the weakness of TT Project, and they know they lost it. So TT Project going back into hiding into the compound. I think they kind of gave up here on this chicken dinner. They're just hoping to get the silver medal, hoping to outlive or Goat Team or Mad, as they will be the 2 squads really vying for that first chicken dinner of today.
Yeah, the difference to the second place could mean the world for this team to at least slowly begin their comeback movement. Team play looks a whole lot better for TT Project off of what we've already seen here. So if they can get themselves some extra points, it could be just enough to allow them to turn their fate around today, with the remaining 5 games preceding our opening Rondo. Goat Team up against Mad, though. Normally, I feel like you'd favour Goat Team all damn day in this head-to-head with how they've been looking. But will Mad Esports have any answer to them? Takhanov's been no stranger to some quick shots with the AUG. If you peek up and you're not able to follow through, and he will shut you down. You can't do anything by half measures here. Iato back towards the tree line, potentially going to be peeked upon. Bio looking to create a bit more space for the roster as well, with the smokes going up, calling in those cover flares to give him a little bit of vertical assistance in terms of blocking the angles.
But look at the circle right now. Mad and Go just kind of surrounding each other. Meaning TT Project, if they time it right and the 2 squads against them get wounded heavily in this altercation, maybe we could be finally looking at a TT Project win, which we've been waiting for the entirety of yesterday. We didn't quite get it. We just got a 4th place and 5 elims. This game, definitely a major step up on this squad. But I'm really liking what we saw from Mad Esports, putting down a few nades to create dips on the mountainside. So they're going to have a bit of an easier time to survive on top of that hill. As Neos flexing out with FEs. Got himself the 2 players here going for a 1-1 split. And really good use. He's also got the 2-seater, so he's going to make sure to keep that mobility going, wants to keep in working condition. That might be their ticket for glory, their ticket for the chicken dinner here on Rondo. As Bio, I don't know how this guy's still alive. Force barely missing out on that final bullet. But it's taken a long time, and it will apparently start the fight on Circle 7 here. So far, nothing's happening that's significant.
Oh, just little bits of poke, effectively. Chip damage here, a read there. Seeing if you can drain out any utility as well would probably be a viable option at a time like this. If you can force them to throw their nades preemptively, waste any of that potential offensive utility, and even maybe drain some of the med plays as well, so they have less to work with the longer this one goes on. Whereas TT Project, like you say, just biding their time, crossing their fingers, ringing the dinner bell, and hoping that effectively if a fight breaks out, they can survive long enough to, at best, snatch away a second place from this, maybe. If enough members go down, build up, they're going for the climb up, they're using the assist, mate.
Yes!
Still in zone.
Oh, I love that. Yeah, I believe it is. I'm looking at the minimap. I believe it's still in zone. So, it just barely. I think half the building's in zone, but that build of elevation could be massive. That could literally be the winning ticket for the side of TT Project. I love when that feature's being used. Really showcasing discipline and map knowledge to the best of your capabilities. And look, he's got the elevation, he's got the angle. Doesn't find the knock, but at least he's able to see where the players are located, where they're parked up. And he's got such a good hiding spot with that third-person perspective in particular. No way he will get pushed out of there unless the blue zone has a different plan in mind. But that's going to be Force getting knocked, and instantly here, Jackie, Mad pull the trigger and go for the push.
Here we go. They hold no thing back as they push up. Takanov with the opening play onto Iato. Drops him, forces down so quickly. We've lost the majority of the stock for the GOAT team, and it's not looking good whatsoever. Focus, trying to keep himself alive. Ducks down, tries to stay within the divots. You can't find him easily. The shots are on point with the gun as he's able to at least trade back onto one player, but that's all it is. A minor trade. Now the shoes on the other foot as TT Project give up the angle they had, advance up the hillside, and want to see if they can capitalize on the fragmented team of Mad before they've had a chance to fully reset. All three of them in vehicles, though, rushing up to regroup with one another. Ephes throwing the nades in. Here comes the peek from Takanov. It's good on the engagement. They hold him back, Max. First connection goes the way of TT. It's a 2v2 now.
Oh, the synergy is beautiful between Ephes and Neos, now able to claim a little bit of that real estate on the mountaintop, though. Really good response also from the side of Mad. They knew that if they lose the high ground, chances are they lose the entire game. So that was their instant response to be willing to clash up there and defend it. Unfortunately, it does cost them one member. But now it's even Stevens in this match. It's down to a 2v2. Mad Esports versus TT Project. The redemption arc would be massive. As actually he's going for the wide-off angle, but Bio's going to get punished for that play. An absolute left stranded here. Low on ammo too, and a 1v2 against TT Project. It's not looking good. As the blue zone is pushing him into the loving arms of TT Project. The util's coming through, and the nade is massive, and it will be Ephes to confirm the chicken dinner finally. The first chicken dinner for TT Project in the PMGO ECA Grand Finals.
Over. Retro eating those, mate. The absolute barrage that is delivered from GOAT team. And with Moxie on the move and the hovercraft doing what he does best to try and capitalize onto the weakened foes, this could be them quickly ascending in terms of the elim points as Moxie will just run them down, trying to squish them as best he can. Misha's in the car, someone else in the water. Oh my, Max, this is getting messy.
Oh, he's trying to do the 360. He's trying to squish him between the hovercraft and the wall. He's going to jump out, Moxie. He loses its armor, but he gains a gun. He finds TGM looking for that one player trying to escape, get the hell out of there. That's a scary hovercraft. And Moxie gets the win. This man is an absolute legend with that vehicle. And not only does he win the fight here, he also gets the reset on some of his teammates. Focus will be the first player in sight. Maybe we'll be able to get Force, but Champions, they lost two. They lost Fearless and Atomic as Demo and Kino. And especially never want to doubt Kino. Demo does get overwhelmed, gets shut down as Kino will be making it to a shed. Very similar to what we saw earlier from Doc. And Doc actually is still alive in this game. And Kino has the exact same game plan, but Doc has got the nade. Oh. The bounce is beautiful. And that's it. Champions sent out. 16s now remain.
Mate, that's filthy from Doc. You can see the arc on it, which, by the way, Afterlife in the midst of that encounter saved GOAT team. They got enough damage onto the player from Champions that pushed down the reviving play from Moxie that he was able to spam onto him and take him out. So Moxie gets the crew back up, 3 of them alive. Doc tries to 1v3 up close and personal, but will eventually buckle. But in instantly the eyes light up for Afterlife as they put bullets down range onto a now broken and bruised GOAT team. 2 players knocked, only one of them still standing at this point, and a nade over from Hardboy might be enough to finish some of them.
I think Moxie forgot he didn't have a hovercraft anymore. He pushed it with a 2-seater like it was a hovercraft. He kind of forgot, unfortunately. You're vulnerable in that vehicle. Though, it still was a nice attempt. I do respect it. 4 teams, though, still in this lobby. And Jackie, really, the main highlight we had in the pre-show was what the hell is going on with TT Project. And now they're back to their previous form, which is not very high in the elimination front, but getting strong position to just get to the late game for relatively free. And if I'm not mistaken, their compound, they also still had a hovercraft that they have yet to use this match. If they did keep in working condition, ooh, TT Project could be having an absolute banging finish. Who knows, maybe looking for back-to-back on the opening day of day 2. Oh, well, opening day. Opening 2 games of day 2, should I say.
Yeah, dude. It feels like that's the case. I mean, honestly, it might as well be day 1 for them because it's a brand new dawn of how they're playing, right? It feels like they've completely rolled it back, and this is what we wanted to see. This is what we were asking for. It's been a very fun game so far in this opening era in Gao. A lot of intense fights, some crazy solo plays, Doc doing Doc things, Moxie on the move. All been very exciting, but who gets the chicken dinner? Will it be TT Project to build themselves a monumental comeback into the standings today? Hardboy's finally found one of the few times, be it if, you know, ever, Max, we've really had Afterlife surviving into an end game. A top 3 finish here since we got into the finals. Their run in the finals has been so quiet. Now they're trying to turn up the decibels.
They got to say thank you to Icy. He eliminated Amix, and Amix usually are the team that always eliminates Afterlife, so he actually kind of indirectly helped Afterlife make it to the podium. Strong finish. Though you have 2 sides of the coin, right? You got Afterlife that's got double-digit eliminations, and then you have TT Project that have 0 elimination. Could this be one of our first 0 elimination chicken dinners? Technically, could be happening if it does get claimed by the blue zone, though Effect does get knocked on down. That's a good AR spray. They are in a position where they can easily get the full squad reset, so I wouldn't be too scared for them. The main big point of contention is going to be between Mad Esports and Afterlife. And also, quick highlight, not only on TT Project, but Mad Esports, right? Last game, got 2nd place as a trio. Lost it to TT Project, but this is the rivalry happening once again. Can they get their revenge on this air angle match? There's a possibility because that dip is looking insanely strong and not too far from the center of the circle, though there will be a nade range of Afterlife. The damage is coming through, but will not result in a knock just yet. Oh, now it does.
Keeping him low, keeping him uncomfortable. Yep, there you go. Eventually the nade is what they needed on that one. Just what the doctor ordered. TT Project looking like they're debating whether or not moving up a little bit as well to commit to this one, thinking that maybe they're weak enough that they can signal the go flare and look to clean up as everyone from Afterlife is on their last legs, crawling forward. You got Neos always on that 3-pronged attack, splitting off from the pack, ready to push up. He's going to prime a nade towards the angle. Oh, Windy on the peak from behind the tree. Good for the denial play. Back onto TT Project just as he goes down. Is that thorn in their side enough to cause this one to be a Mad Esports victory?
Could be the case. I mean, Neos in a very hard-to-res position. Effie's will be going for a quick send. And actually, those 2 smokes are going to be enabling that res to come through. So it was looking a bit dicey, and it didn't get punished whatsoever by Mad Esports. Though, compared to last game, this is a full squad of Mad. That could be more than enough to overwhelm the members of TT Project and claim the win. Still have 0 eliminations here, Jackie. 0 eliminations for TT Project. Well, the other 2 squads had so many more, but there's going to be Zerich able to find that opening knock. Now, it's getting real dicey. Hard to get the reses. Good peek over the ridge here is going to be absolute to get that knock and flush onto Zerich. Though the off angle is going to be so strong effect. And Effies are definitely carrying hard in these moments with the shots. Effies, again, getting absolute flushed out of that match. And now Effect in full send mode. Trying to get all of the members now down to just a duo in the distance. But he does falter. Now down once again, just like last game on Rondo, Jackie, to a proper 2v2 of TT Project versus Mad Esports.
Yeah, we're running it right back. History has repeated itself, and isn't it poetic that it's these two teams fighting over the second chicken dinner of the day? Will the outcome be the same? Can TT Project do it again as the nades are thrown in right on target to blow away their opposition, and the team celebrates not one, but
to make it downstairs, but unfortunately will not find safety quickly enough. That's GOAT team for the dub, able to claim the entirety of Hospital as their terrain, as their kingdom. As though, actually, there were a few good smokes coming out from Zioli, was because Mad Esports were made in, though it was not happening. The fight was just a little bit too quick for GOAT, as 27 plus shifting on over to the POV of some of the members. Ruzen, sure, knocked, but not in an impossible position to get the res on that member. So 27 plus could still be looking really strong, and especially this ridge line is kind of keeping them split away from Mad, from TT Project. So this should be their ticket to the podium. But GOAT team, they're looking healthy. They got the full reset, back up as a 3-man squad here. This could be their time to strike, take the fight to a weakened 27 plus or TT Project, and who knows, maybe claim that chicken dinner.
Moxie on the move in the hovercraft. It's bread and butter in a lot of these encounters, but with them only having 3 players, will they be able to fight to that same stature we know they're capable of? Widespread on them so far as well. Moxie playing tucked in behind the hovercraft for now. 4 still down towards the buildings with focus on the rotate with the car, keeping them guessing, just looking for a bit of a read here, close towards the rock. They're going to try and prime the nade to throw towards him. Detonates in air. He goes back in. Can he get the knock? Wants to bonnet them. There's the tap. Aslan boy knocked over because of it. The rest of GOAT can capitalize on this space created. They charge in and start to punish 27 plus. Tap or glow. Bullets in the back line from Force. Moxie dives out of the hovercraft as well to assist, and the nades, if on target, could blow away 27 plus.
This is literally the perfect way to fight it for GOAT, because you're in a secluded fight. This ridgeline is making sure Mad Esports and TT Project can't shoot you from a distance. And look who it is. If it isn't Moxie with a hovercraft, jumping on out with a PP Bison, and that was not even a fight. That's going to be 27 plus, sent 6 feet under. What an engage. And again, look at that. The team looking so healthy because no one had an angle on them. As I say that, though, you can see on the minimap, Bio's going for a wide transition northwest. So he's looking to maybe surprise and shock all of GOAT. But even if he finds a knock here, I don't think that's going to be enough to actually eliminate the entire team. And Moxie still got the hovercraft. We're about to shift into the final circle. It's going to be stage 8. And if there's building, especially of TT Project and Mad is not in zone anymore, this is looking like the easiest GOAT chicken dinner I've ever seen. Wait. It's the same top 3 of Rondo.
Yeah.
It's GOAT Mad.
We've done it again, mate.
I just realized.
This is 3 games in a row where it's been TT Project and Mad, and then 2 games where we've had this top 3 exactly. How does this keep happening, Max? Consistency has been key today.
It's not like the circles have been in the same area and favoring those teams. Like, they're on opposite side of the map. Earlier was Ferry Pier, now we're next to the hospital, so yeah, it just goes to show these are the true consistent teams. Mad in particular, I would say one of the biggest step-ups I've seen outside of TT Project. But though, they need to end this fight. TT Project versus Mad, the 2v2. You need to end it right here, right now, if you want to be able to maybe take the chicken away from the grasp of GOAT. Because actually it would be massive if Mad can win the fight versus TT Project. They already have Bio set up as an anchor point, so that transition shouldn't be hard to execute. Oh, time to play around with that utility. That was the last grenade of Absolute. Now, it's going to be HTSX trying to go for the peek around the corner. Nicely able to find himself that knock through the window frame. And as we see that, that is going to be the end. TT Project eliminated, and really good for Mad. Don't lose a single member. They have a vehicle, and they could look to regroup onto Bio. That's yet to be spotted by all of GOAT team. He could be the winning condition.
He could be, but could be the operative word unless GOAT have something to say about it. He finally makes his play with the backstab. Good damage. Knocks one of the players. But the same can be said about Mad. They've got to go for the recovery onto Absolute, so it's a bit more uncomfortable for Bio. Quickly tries to create some space as he sprints across. Moxie flushed out as well from the reposition, and Absolute has been picked back up. Focus with the re-peek. Hits that one. Nades coming in onto the duo of GOAT. Mad Always the bridesmaid, never the bride today. Twice they've come second. Will this be their first chicken dinner, or will Goat Team be able to upset them? Bio drops, and it's Focus and Force, the lethal duo from Goat, left to try and clutch this one.
HTSX just got access to all of the loot of Moxie. He's got 3 nades, so that's going to be some good util. He gets it. Oh, that could be beautiful behind the crate. So you get the damage. Just get a bit done onto Focus. It's just a tickle. As the bio sure is knocked, is still providing valuable information on top of that ridge. As Focus now has got a nade of his own, that's going to be forcing HGSX out in the open. The bounce is huge. It goes a little bit too far. The second also going to go right behind HGSX. But Mad, how are the nades not hitting? They should be perfect. And Molotov, though, is going to burn him up to a crisp. Mad still not able to convert a chicken dinner. And Goat Team looking to reclaim their position on the throne. What a massive win here right outside of Hospital.
There you go, the pop-off. Very proud of themselves for that one.
Have learned from their day one mistakes of a change of mindset, and now going to go and focus their attention over onto another engagement, which is going to be DG77, though it is going to be a full team. Not an easy fight, and DG's got an amazing dip to fight from, looking to have definitely an advantage, while Aurora are not quite in the play zone. So DG looking to be their fight to win, as Nomi with the angle from that shed is looking good. Will force top back into hiding, but the dip is very nadeable, and so far the nades getting some good damage and forcing DG to be constantly on the move to make sure they are not an easy target.
Some nice nades thrown, near misses thus far. Aurora debating when they want to signal the go flare and absolutely collapse onto this team. For TT Project, still just alive, waiting for the skirmishes from the other squad to result in a window for them. They do collapse it, and that's Joel instantly falling. The rest of the Aurora crew starting to go lights out, but not in the way that they'd expect. Refus looks to clutch onto it, good for one more point before they expire, but that is it for Aurora, out in 5th place with 6 elims under the belt there, and a few placement points sprinkled on top for good measure, leaving us with our final 4 teams. TT Project still looking like they want to grab another chicken dinner today. If they can answer this lobby, they would have 3 out of the 4 games played. DG77 as well, finally making it into a late game, and the Vicious and Avalanche joining them.
TT Project are just on vacation this game. They've been in this garage the entire match, it feels like, and the circle still favors them. The garage is still in play, so they don't have to budge an inch. They can just stay there, let Vicious, Avalanche, and DG fight each other. But I do say that I think is what they're hoping for. I think that the other teams might have a different plan in mind. DG77 in particular, if you look at their spot, they won the fight versus Aurora. They got access to the Eastern Ridge, which is not in zone. If you want to take a strong fight, I would say send it onto TT Project, and then the other teams of Avalanche and Vicious won't have an easy third party on you because you will be fighting inside of a building. Doing it in the open could be riskier, as this ridge line of Avalanche also actually could be a decent opportunity because you don't have any lines of sight for TT Project or Vicious. You just got to be very quick, very snappy. If you go for the fight, it needs to end in 15-20 seconds. Otherwise, you're really going to be finding yourself weakened by the engagement, and then teams will be smelling blood in the water and looking to capitalize on that mistake.
Well, that's the zone moving in. That'll be the additional player on the server, it seems, eating away. Can't stop the rot there for DG77. So Zadira, a key piece of the pie, removed from them and bringing him down to just a duo, making their chances of really getting anything else out of this one far harder. And TT Project, always the landlords with the best real estate. They're going to be sitting pretty, just waiting comfortably inside of the space they've got, whilst the rest of the squads do battle. Effect with the opening knock over on the Nomi, and there's the flush through from Ephes on pre-pod. So still getting opportunities to add some points as well here. They might get themselves a big finish and get 2 elims in the closing moments of this game. And finally, there's only 3 squads left.
It's unfortunate for DG. They tried to pull an Aurora, day 1 Aurora, where they want to take up a position without having to fight because they think teams are going to let it happen. But no, not in this lobby. It's just not going to happen whatsoever. Crashing would have been the better option. And that's going to put us down to the podium. But yeah, again, podium finish from TT Project, man. 2 chicken dinners. They got themselves a 3rd place early on the last Orangle, and now they're going to have possibly another 3rd place, but maybe able to build upon it, get a 2nd, who knows, maybe a 3rd chicken dinner of the day. Securing 50% of the wins here today would be an insane statement from this squad, though Zerich going a little bit too far out wide on the road, will get punished. So at least, you know what? Sure, he goes down, but at least the 2 players of TT Project here, Jackie, know where Vicious are located.
And for Vicious, I do wonder if maybe the pressure of how it's been a bit of a slow day from them being in this position will eat away at them a little bit if they won't play their usual style. Usually very calm and collected in these kind of final circles. Will their due diligence go out the window a little bit? Utility thrown over, Doran taking a few points of damage as well. They've still got some defensive utility to try and make their life a bit easier, so they will get the smokes down and regroup on top of one another to play off each other. Cars going to detonate soon. They got to backpedal a little bit. Avalanche may fancy their chances of engaging. They're going to send up 2 players, Butcher and Molodoy, but Icy gets the shot onto the head of Molodoy, and the vehicle craters out of control. So Avalanche now starting to come to a grinding halt.
Very nadeable area too behind those rocks and those smokes. And the thing is, because TT Project, this is their real first fight of the game, they should have a ton of resources. I say that actually just 1 nade left in the arsenal of Effie's, so not as much as I was hoping for. Maybe that is a different scenario for effect, but that buggy is smoking, so it can't really be utilized. They do send him a little bit higher up, Butcher trying to hit some util. But the cool thing here for Vicious, they do also pop the wheels of the car, meaning it does lower it a little bit. Harder to hit bullets below the vehicle, which we've seen happen a lot in the past here in PMGO EECA. What they're hoping for, of course, Avalanche fully clash with TT Project and they just pick off the stragglers and get the win. That is what Vicious are hoping for because they've had a terrible final so far except for Icy. But it is not Icy that's left alone. It is a full squad. It's a 4v3v2. They have everything headed their way for this potential win except for the zone, but even then the man advantage can leverage enough, can make enough of a leverage for yourself to actually do well despite the position not being too favorable. There you go, Smoke Road coming out trying to keep them hidden. The sprays connected, but yet not a single knock has been found.
Nades a near miss. Actually gets just enough chip damage into the backline to down Doran, so he's going to falter. That one could be close towards the Angua TT Project as well. Going to detonate on Ephes. He keeps his belly down on the ground. Left on a sliver of health there. 2 players from the Vicious now knocked. It gets very awkward for them, but they turn their attention back on the Groza and Avalanche begin to buckle. It's all coming down to a scrap of the solos then. It's a duo of TT versus 2 solos, and Butcher tries to flush out onto Vicious, completes his objective. Nade right on target. Butcher with a sliver of cover, barely standing now in the 1v2. Can TT Project do it again and get another chicken dinner today?
The most consistent team today by far. Getting 2 wins earlier. 1 Rondo, 1 Orangle. Maybe looking for another Orangle, their 2nd of today. Nade a little bit too far. Effect just staying in that blanket of mystery. Spread out from the smokes. The nade, though, could be really strong. Effect taking a bit of damage, though. It's going to be Butcher put down into CQC, swapping on over to his GBS. The shots connect, and it will be 1, 2, and 3 chicken dinners here, headed the way of TT Project with the comeback of a lifetime.
Unbelievable scenes, mate. They've only gone and done it again. A team that has been redeemed finally sheds his skin. And Ruzen's pushing for even more on this. They want to flush out 777, not just knock them.
27 plus going to be the only squad with a full roster. So they're looking to completely overwhelm, become the true champions of Truck Stop. Unfortunately, Lux goes way too far and wide on that push. Not sure why Luxus went for it. It was completely unnecessary. And because of that, it will get punished by the competition. Red Lick able to lick his wounds. Get him a little bit of a quick reset with the first aid. Also maybe a few stems here and there to make sure he can get back to 100% HP. But everything was looking so good for 27 plus until it didn't, where they got too confident, too ballsy on their engagement, and those teams were able to see it and just completely denied it. Start. Oh, you can see only 55 bullets left in the magazine for the MG3. Could be quite unfortunate. Hardboy, his teammate, finally falls. It's time to try and come out on top and stand tall, but it's just going to get absolutely destroyed by VC. Vicious up to 3 limbs. It's Narval and Icy. Could we finally be looking here at finally a chicken dinner on day 2 from this squad? Thing is, the DG has been going on an absolute aggression spree this entire match. Able to dominate players from a distance on the high ground, on the mountains, around truck stop, especially up north. It's a bunch of solos here, really. You got Redlick, you got Tapok, you got a duo of Vicious, and then 3 players of DG. We've seen a fumble in the situation in the past from that team, especially last game right on the Wrangle. There was one by TT Project. Will they do the same mistake again?
Fingertips grabbing onto greatness here to give them a nice injection of points, but who's going to claim it? Maybe finally a chance to see a chicken dinner for the Vicious if this duo can do something huge. A very quiet, topsy-turvy run of things over the finals for them. The last remaining member of 27 Plus after this consistently delayed encounter against 777. Will Tapok gets what he wants? No. Runs out into the open, instantly spotted by Icy. So another team down. And 3 squads remain. Moving on upwards here. DG77, the triple threat of Preprod, Zadira and Freezer jumping in the vehicle and looking to roam out as a unit.
That's a good ridge. You've got to be careful, though. You've got to jump out the car to be able to defend it. Nicely done, DG. Keeping Zadira on the back line, too, is keeping this ridge line in check. Making sure none of Vicious want to peek their head over the dirt pile. And actually, that's a good initial nade. Really just scaring Vicious back into submission. Though from down below in test, oh my goodness, truck stop, the teams are getting involved in the conversation. Nade a little bit too far up, but they want to try and confirm second place. I think they know this is going to be a tough chicken dinner to get. If they can get rid of the solos, at least they're going to get these 6 placement points on the match. They're looking for one, but Narvalo, he's going to get overwhelmed. Icy left in a 1v1, but Redlick will fall. This is going to be indeed a second place for Vicious, as now DG in full push mode, sending it. Icy denying the point out to the blue, and finally, it will be a DG 77 chicken dinner here on the first Miramar of today.
A long time coming, but the victory achieved for DG70.
Decelerate, and it did work out beautifully in their favor. So Aurora here in contention, making it very soon, hopefully in the top 5. Also, a team that you want to see hopefully do well is going to be destined to rise, rising through the rankings. That extra point they just got on DG is going to push them up in top 10, making it almost a single digit. 2 more points and they could be up in the top 9. As Aurora getting punished for overpeaking. Arcred looking here for the push and making the ascent up the mountaintop.
Here comes the onslaught then. Star, good first move onto Doc. Top replies back as Fleek falls and Star finally goes dull as the team of Arc Red is losing their power. Response over though. It's the charge in from Hardboy. He's good for the up close fight, but it's only 1 knock and they can't fully flush onto it, so they should be able to play medic and recover the 2 downed players on Aurora. Reset off the back of that heroic charge in from Arc Red and have a fighting chance to get a chicken dinner on this one. Our final 4 teams then being Aurora, destined to rise, Amix and TGM in our head-to-head here tonight.
You just know destined to rise want to give an eviction notice over to Amix, but it's very hard. You don't have direct line of sight. You don't have windows for easy nades, so they're just going to coexist for the longest time. Though the ridgeline of Aurora is slowly but surely being pushed out of the playable area. It is going to be phase 8. Phase 9 is going to center up over to the west and actually is going to be right on the road. Our mini-map is just slightly offset. On my map feed, the road is going to be the finishing area. So Aurora, they still have vehicles, but I would say playing in the open would be a mistake, Jackie. I would say for Aurora, you have to go for a crash. Otherwise, you're just asking to have 2 teams, a duo and a trio just spraying down in your area. I think a crash would be the best option here. So make sure you have a chance of getting the win and using that man advantage for yourself. As you can see, they're setting up the car for a wide rotation down south. This could be the game-winning rotate of the ex-APG roster.
Be a big day for them if they're able to do it here. 11 elims. Potential chance for the chicken dinner, and you can see they're playing confidently, moving different right now as Aurora close the gap up towards D2R. Shots on target to at least get their backs up, make them feel uncomfortable. And that duo of Amix who have still had some pretty decent impact on the elims on this one. Lying in wait, the first bullet thrown out is a decent delivery as we see two players from Aurora buckling under the pressure. D2R withstands the might of Aurora on impact and bring us down to a 2v2 v3 between these teams. This is going to be a scrappy final encounter.
Yeah, this is actually why I maybe wanted a breach coming out from them. But actually, the team now closest to the center of the circle is Aurora. Main issue is you're in a very nadeable spot, right? If Spy gets a little bit too close behind that wall, he chucks one nade or a Molotov, that could be a squad wipe. And also, as you peek to the left or the right side of the shed, it's very easy to pre-fire for Destined to Rise or Amex. There's actually Puza. Oh, that was a bit risky, but he gets up there. The extra bit of elevation is massive just to get full insight on where Aurora are located. As a duo, of course, Reefus, the man himself, still keeping the dream alive with Doc. As you said here, Jackie, the 2v2v3 scenario in full effect. At least we'll have different teams in the podium compared to the rest of the matches today, which is very exciting. Down to the utility count, Kvik's got 2 nades, which really could be the death of Destined to Rise if they can hit it. Though, with a car, Darling going for the wide northern rotate, looking to make the cross on the road.
Shots out. It makes for the potential engagement in the backline with a nade, seeing if that utility can be their saving grace. Spike's just playing on the edge of the zone there, casts it forward, detonating inside of the smoke. Kavik with the elevated angle could be the winning piece for them. That one's good. Kavik detonates bets. Follow up though from Reefus as he looks to deny the potential points. So the third party from Aurora is what's winning this one out for them and giving them good momentum into the head-to-head. Duo v duo, D2R. Can they somehow close it versus Aurora? It's all on Reefus, the hero of the moment at times for Aurora, but will he be outnumbered? Peeks up, good first engagement. Domes, Darling tries to tuck in, gets behind cover, and still fighting on this one. Charges back forward, Max. He knows they're low. He knows they're playing for the pickup. Can he close the distance in time? Shots missing. Aurora crumbling under the pressure, but Reefus looks to clutch and will do just that.
Oh, the communication between Doc and Reefus is a thing of absolute beauty. If you saw for a second there, Reefus had no more ammo in his main AR, and Doc in the background behind the car dropped loot, gave ammo to Reefus so that was able to reload it, and thanks to that aspect of the game, able to convert this chicken dinner. Without the help of Doc, Reefus could not get the win. What beautiful synergy between those two players, and Aurora Gaming finally claiming not only a chicken dinner here, Jackie, but claiming their first chicken dinner of the Grand Finals.
Yeah, massive elevation there for this team. Great mechanics on display and brilliant resilience to close it out in the dying moments of today's games. They step up when it matters, Max, and get an injection of points in a lobby where our big point vacuums had fallen away early.